In this video, we're going to look at interesting dates about World War I and World War II, and that we are in the Third World War. The Third World War has actually started, but the main war is going to be between China and Taiwan, and all of it has been pre-planned for at least over 100 years, as you see in Albert Pike's letter to Mancini about the three world wars. And so on September the 3rd, 1939, Great Britain declared war on Germany. So that's September the 3rd. So that's 9-3. So the 3 9s, 999, upside down, 666. It is also September the 3rd. Remember that September was originally the 7th month. So it is actually 3 7s. It is actually 7-3. 777 is the Kabbalistic number of Aleister Crowley, which he writes in between the two pillars. The two pillars. I've shown in my video how these two pillars, they are a symbol of duality. And you have the twin towers on 9/11, which was also 7/11. And you had building 7 go down, and it looks like a 7/11, and that was the Solomon building that went down. Solomon means sun and moon, the two pillars, the two towers, the sun and the moon. And so we have here, September the 3rd was the start of World War II, when Great Britain declared war. That's 7-3, 777, the Kabbalistic number of Aleister Crowley's book. You had the attacks in London, which were on 7-7. 7-7, 2005, that's another 7, 777. Everything is planned. Everything is pre-planned. Now, it is 77 years today, 77 years, 3 months and 25 days since the end of World War II. So it's 77 years. Again, we have the number 77. So this is constantly repeated, these numbers, 77. 77 years since World War II. Boris Johnson, the 77th Prime Minister when Russia invaded Ukraine. And Boris Johnson is the 14th Prime Minister under Queen Elizabeth II. Churchill was the first. Churchill was Prime Minister during World War II. Boris is the 14th, that's 7-7, under Queen Elizabeth. Boris has written a book called The Churchill Factor. He's now writing a book about William Shakespeare, and the first man to get the potion was called William Shakespeare. And Boris resigned on 7-7. So you can see the numbers. Now, the two powers in World War II were called the Axis and Allied Powers. Axis and Allied Powers, that's AA-11. Remember, on September 11th, you had the plane AA-11. You have Artemis and Apollo. Again, the two pillars of Freemasonry, the moon and the sun. So you can see the Masonic symbolism and symbols and numbers behind these events. And the First World War ended on the 11th of November, that's 9/11, and it ended on the 11th day of the 11th month of the 11th hour, that's 33 of Freemasonry. So it ended on 11/11. Remember the 1-1 AA, so it ended on the 11th of November. In the Roman interpretation of the months, that's 9/11. So you have this constant repetition of the numbers 11, AA, 7-7, 777. So you can see the Masonic numbers. And then we have the death of Adolf Hitler. So the death of the Charlie Chaplin character in Germany, his death was announced. The important thing is when they announce these things. So his death was announced on May 1st. And that day is the day that the Bavarian Illuminati was created, on May the 1st, May Day. And that's when his death was announced, on May the 1st. Now, they say he died on April the 30th, but it's when they announce these things, which is the important thing. And in my opinion, he actually went to live many years after. And remember that he came to power in 1933. Again, you have the 33 of Freemasonry. So you have these constant numbers repeated again and again. So you see that his death was announced on May the 1st. And of course, we have Benito Mussolini. He was a British agent, and he was knighted. He worked for MI5, he was knighted, and he was a member of the Order of the Bath, which is a Masonic order, which today includes Keir Starmer and Klaus Schwab. And when Russia invaded, the date was actually the 22nd of February. They try and make out that it was the 24th, but I made a video at the time. He sent the troops in the 22nd of February, 22, 22, 22. 322, 322 of Skull and Bones. So you can see with history how you have these numbers. September the 3rd, That's 3 9s, upside down, 666. That's also 3 7s, 777, Kabbalistic writings. This is all planned. And the 3 world wars, you have 3 degrees of Freemasonry, 3 initiation degrees, and it is like we are all being initiated through these wars in time into the secrets of Freemasonry. And you have that letter from Pike to Mazzini, in which he says that after the Third World War, the light of Lucifer will be revealed to all. Thank you.